Social media is a huge part of our lives, but it has a hidden dark side.
I could have ended up dead. I really didn't have anyone to turn to at that point. I couldn't even turn to my own family.
Anna, not her real name, was just a teenager when her life was taken over by an Eastern European drugs gang. She got sucked into that world after a friend request on Snapchat from a young man she'd met on a night out.
I'd given him my social media, and then he'd be quite romantic, quite flirty, and just shown a massive interest in me.
How often were you getting these messages from him?
We'd message 24/7.
The constant messaging made Anna think she was getting into a relationship, but he had other ideas, and soon he was forcing her into drug dealing.
I didn't want to be the one that would land in trouble for something that I'd been forced to do.
I want to understand how easy it is for gangs to access children like Anna. I've decided to go undercover on Snapchat, posing as a 15-year-old girl I'm calling Mia. My fake account has been up and running for 2 weeks now. I've not gone looking for drugs with this account. I've just been following pages that I think a real teenager might be interested in. Soon after I set it up, Snapchat starts suggesting people that I might want to become friends with. Some of those people appear to be drug dealers. One of those suggested friends seems to claim he's part of a gang transporting drugs from London to Swansea. Remember, this app thinks I'm a 15-year-old girl, and yet it's encouraging me to befriend potential criminals. It's one thing to be offered drugs, but I know gangs are using these apps to groom children. The problem is, they're on the lookout for fake accounts like mine. They've tried to check me out. They want to see a picture of me. Obviously, I can't do that without blowing my cover. That's as far as I can go. If I had sent them a picture and they trusted me, the next stage might have been a gang trying to recruit me. The police have shown me some evidence of what that can look like. One post says HMU, that's hit me up if you're trying to get trap giddy. That means work in a trap house. Spots there, racks, i.e. money to be made. And this one just uses an emoji of a house to show the trap house, and a picture of bread to tell you that there's money to be made. These are real posts by gangs trying to reach children. That's why the police are trying to crack down on those drug gangs. In Swansea, covert officers are on their way to shut down a county line in a joint operation by the Met and South Wales Police.
Police!
Inside, a man suspected of running a line which supplies crack and heroin.
Right. Time now is 8:52. You're under arrest on suspicion of being concerned in supply Class A drugs. Class A drugs? Okay.
They find thousands of pounds concealed in his kitchen units and a mobile phone.
Is that your phone? Yeah, that's mine. What?
They also raid a suspected accomplice's house and retrieve what look like drugs that have been flushed down the toilet.
It's a decent amount of heroin by the looks of it. Is that? Yeah.
We believe that he is controlling the sale of drugs from that mobile phone and using other people within the city to distribute those drugs.
The suspect in this case was an adult, but often the police find children when they carry out these raids.
That may be children who are holding drugs on behalf of adult drug dealers. So those children may feel that they're part of a county line, or they've been forced into it, or they may not understand that they've been groomed to an extent, but we will look for those factors and those indicators, and we will treat exploited children as victims, and we will not treat them as criminals where there is evidence that they are being exploited.
For Anna, that exploitation went on for years, and one night she was duped into going to a house where members of the gang were waiting to abuse her.
They held me against my will, and I was sexually assaulted by more than one person, and they wouldn't allow me to go home.
And these are grown men?
Yeah, yeah.
So they were members of the gang. Did you know them?
I didn't know any of them, and none of them spoke English. I just remember leaving and just feeling really disgusted in myself, just thinking that it was my fault that I ended up in that situation.
Anna got out of being exploited by the gang in the same way she got in, social media. Talking to her, it feels like that's the key to stopping this from happening to others. And it's companies like Snapchat that have that power. Snapchat told me there's no place on its platform for the exploitation of any member of its community or the illegal buying and selling of drugs. It says it's working to protect younger children from people they don't know, and it has a team collaborating with police and experts to understand drug-related trends. The Children's Commissioner for England, Dame Rachel de Souza, says our investigation highlights how vulnerable children are to grooming and exploitation online. As social media continues to evolve, those trying to protect children are struggling to keep up. Charanpreet Kara, BBC News.